Hello everybody, welcome back to Kawacho, our little town in the middle of rivers and mountains in Japan somewhere. We are picking this up right off of the back of the last episode where we are working on getting something worked out so we can get a little bit bigger population, and I'm thinking we need to start expanding over into this area, and that is probably going to make up a big part of our downtown area. At least I'd like to think so. So, I'd like to see some sort of train system that goes from here and connects up down here as well. And another bridge maybe. There's a bridge here, but it's not really doing me a whole lot of good because that is the bridge that connects off to the outside area, which is great except for it's barely even in this territory. But I might still be able to do something about leeching off of that. So we want to get a big part of the city over here and have like a nice proper downtown area. But I mean, baby steps here. We've got this tiny little burg here we got to start expanding out. So something to focus on for this episode. So let's get down to it. Uh-oh, building's on fire. So our fire trucks are able to respond to that effectively. Oh, hopefully. There's another one going. I foresee a problem here. We want to have the fire trucks with access everywhere as quickly as possible. Oh my, that was not what I meant to do. Oops. Can I undo that? Nope, there's no undo. Oh, what have I done? Okay, let's try that again. We want to have a 2-lane road here. That was what I was getting at. And we will rezone that. Oopsies. That way our fire trucks can just go and get down there without having to do this little hanky-panky thing. Let's watch these guys go to work here. Oh, well, that was quick. Unfortunately, no, we do not have a Japanese-style fire truck. There wasn't really one that was significantly different than the normal one, so I just kind of said, you know what, the normal one's fine, I guess. One thing to keep in mind is I'm probably running hundreds of mods on this, at least, and the more mods you add in, the higher chance you have of something going wrong, and you just don't want to risk that if it's not for something that's, you know, at least a bit of a reward. So, wow, we got all these buildings coming in here now. They're filling that space back up quickly after I accidentally bulldozed them. It was an accident. Hopefully, they will quickly bounce back and we will be back up on our feet again here. So how is our school doing? Only 151 students. Really like to see higher numbers for that. So, we have the option making a big road and jumping it across the water here to this section, which would be our big hub. Question is, do we want to do that? It might be possible to expand our place enough that we can get the population of 2,200 that we need to get trains, and then rely a little heavier on a train system, which is what I think I want to do for now. So I'm going to go like this. Say, sorry, guy. Got a very strange way of doing the road there, but it's all good. And we're going to make it green. We're going to also need to put water into this section here. We're still a very small town, so our capacity is way above and beyond what we need it to be. And we have all the clean water over on this side, and all of the mucky, nasty water over on this side. And that is draining away from our city, way downriver over there. So at least up in this area, we have these nice, clean rivers. Eventually, of course, we're going to try to get rid of this pump and replace it with sewage treatment, so we don't have to worry about that anymore. How's our police coverage looking? Just that one little Koban right there is keeping a lot of this area nice and secure, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and pop another one in. Let's see, I'm thinking right in there. Then we can take this area. Is this a 2-lane? It is a 2-lane. And we will expand diligently. Oh no, we're gonna lose that. Oh, sorry guys. Now, residential demand has backed off, so we're gonna actually back off ourselves and increase our retail a little bit. I'm tempted to even cut that off and make that retail instead of residential, because we don't, you know, you gotta have kind of a mix to really get the most of everything, but I don't want to get too separated. To be honest, with us running farms, they're a lot less pollution and such. It's probably not that bad of an idea to have lots of mixture between the different zones. We'll see. Those have already been filled in. Doing that would not be so great. It would be great up to that point there. Wow, we just built that new road and there's already a midget on it. But I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna zone this for retail. It's right on the back side of the fire department. And you can see they're already jumping at the bit to get those buildings going up. We're not running in faster than normal mode. This is normal speed. So they are very quickly moving into that. There's definitely demand. I will provide. Oh, they've already got water there. Excellent. Now we haven't yet watered down here. But we don't have that zoned yet, so that's not going to be an issue. We are. Love watching these trains go. Trains are so cool to watch in Japan. Because they're such a big part of Japanese culture and lifestyle. Is so many people ride the train every day and get to work to and from. I know plenty and like tons of people even that don't have cars at all, and they just ride a bicycle to the train station and take the train to the next train station where they hop on another bicycle and head off to their job. So they actually own 2 bicycles, both of which they just basically park at a train station. So it's pretty crazy, but that's actually a very normal thing. Not just for working people, but also for students. Oh, there's a Coco's. Coco is a curry restaurant. It's fun seeing all these little shops that you know in the game. I'm a little worried about there being like actual like brands. Here's a Lawson Konbini convenience store. So I do worry a little bit about being the actual brands, but at the same time, it's so cool seeing like Shimamura and the Esso and a Lawson and Yoshinora and like all these little shops, Cocos, that you actually see in real life in Japan on a day-to-day basis. It's a lot of fun seeing that kind of stuff, and it really, I think, honestly adds to the game. It makes it so much more fun. They have a Big Bite, which is funny because there's a restaurant here called Big Boy that looks very similar to that. We're seeing buildings are still getting a little bit taller. They've slowed down a little bit, but not completely. Residential has jumped back up, so I think we're going to start filling this in. I really want to get to where we can start doing mass transit. That's kind of a big deal when you're working with a Japanese city. Mass transit is king. If you don't have a mass transit system working well for you, you can't really call yourself a Japanese city. Either that or you're like a really ancient Japanese city, which we are not. I mean, you wouldn't have a robot statue in ancient Japan. Probably. We do have quite a bit of space over here that we're not really utilizing, and we can move down that way. So I'm going to go ahead and start planting some roads there just to feel it out a little bit. And that is a two-way road I just plopped down. Oh, what? Hang on a moment. We want there. And there. There we go. Having those measurement tools is a really big help when you're laying out these roads and you want a nice, even road that you're not wasting a huge amount of grid space on. We are getting a bunch of lack of worker notices now. That's not so great. Got all this extra space here. Ready to go. Gonna run some pipes underneath here. So that's ready for the next stuff that we put in there. Water availability, we are seeing this come down now a little bit, but we are still well into the green. So something to keep in mind for future expansion is that we are starting to use up a bit of our water. Same with the sewage. Electricity, ooh, we're getting pretty close to needing a second electric power plant. As a matter of fact, I might just want to go ahead and do that. The good news is I can just plant one across the street from the other one. And voila. Looks like some giant mashing robot that if you drive through there, it'll just go smash and crush your car. Being able to start and build up slowly so we don't have to use the loans and such is really, really paying off for us now because we're not worrying about loans. And there we go, we've done it. We can do transport now and unique level 3 buildings, and we can get into the bus. As well as put in roundabouts, bus transit centers, bus depots. Oh, yes. So many great things. First, though, I want to see a cemetery. We can actually fit it right in here, right in the middle of all this farmland. That's pretty terrible, actually. Or that. I mean, I'm gonna go ahead and say we should probably stick it out here somewhere. How about right there? That's not too bad. That'll be a bit of peace of mind. Look at that, everybody's happy about it. It's kind of a strange thing to have in the neighborhood, but I mean, right across the fence from there is a bunch of cows, so woohoo. Quite the bustling little town here. I think we've managed to avoid any stoplights at all. Is this one of the old style police cruisers? Ugh. Yep. Old school police car there. With this is obviously the street that really, really likes Mazda, because there's a RX-7, another RX-7, and an MX-5, another MX-5. I'd love to see like an RX-8 right there in the mix too. That'd be funny. Actually, wait, that's an RX-8. Yep, this is the Mazda street. But there goes the police. Oh, it's beautiful. Ah, buses. Why you gotta be so difficult here? We're gonna do that. I love that there's this tiny little shop. It's just a little cafe. Right next to this big bus depot. Okay. Again, trying to keep a lot of that resourceful stuff right in the center area here. I want it to be able to access a large part of the city without having to, like, overextend itself. Now, we need to make bus stops. So going here to transit, we're going to get our bus line. And we'll create a new line. I'm going to have it run through the town here. Stop in front of the high school. Seems good. Feels a bit bad that I'm like missing that entire section there. But alright. We'll add a stop here. And a stop here. And a stop here. Down here. These are all two-way, so that shouldn't be too much of a problem. And stop there. There. I know there's nothing there yet, but hey, things will change. There. And I'm noticing a problem. We need to upgrade this street here to be a two-way. And then we'll go back to our line. Boom, complete the line. Now we should be able to see buses start going out here. Beautiful. Let's follow this guy and see how his bus day is gonna go. His bus day. No passengers? Oh, no, no, there we go. Wow, you can actually view in the bus. We can actually go for a bus ride. Oh, we're stuck literally like watching through the front. I can't actually move the camera at all. This is pretty cool. This kind of reminds me of way back in the day when you had Streets of SimCity. When you had SimCity 2000 and you could make your city up and then drive through it in Streets of SimCity with like your racing game and stuff. And it was so like broken and messed up and it didn't work very well, but at the same time it was so fantastic. It was really, really cool being able to see your city in first person after you'd put all that work into building it in SimCity 2000. Even though it was really terrible looking. It was still a huge amount of fun. I remember that game and I absolutely loved it. Barely ran on my computer at the time. Like I got a whopping like 10 frames per second or something like that. So wow, look at all these people. The bus is clearly an effective tool because there are so many people lining up for it. This is really cool though. I love just this extra layer of interactivity. I can go for a ride on the bus and just watch it drive around my town. That's amazing. That's so cool. What, is this the one guy? Well, hang on. What are you doing, guy? You're going to work. There goes the bus over there. Ah, he works here. Well, we can catch our ride back on our bus again, if I can click on it. No, come here, bus. Those cows are really desperate for attention, I swear. And this looks like it's the home stretch. And people are boarding. And wow. So there is the shuttle bus system at work. That's fun. It's just, I like that. You can just watch things, and especially with that mod. I've got the first person camera mod, and that extra little detail. So great. Mission 25, 53, and we have that filled out. Pretty even demand. All of them have a decent demand for industry, or all the different zones, I mean. So it would be easy to just kind of go ploop, ploop, ploop. And they all have water already. Ooh, except for right there. Kind of an expensive thing, but hey. Water is guaranteed. Still doing okay for water, but I'm worried now with this expansion we might actually need to put in a second water pumping station. Ugh, but not over here. Look at that. Pollution. Terrible. Let's go ahead and do that. We've got enough money coming in that we're not having to really worry too much about being able to afford things. So we're keeping a good balance going, and it's great. So now we have tons of water available. The sewer thing, though, we're gonna have to add another sewer output as well. That I'm a little less thrilled about, because that means just that much more pollution. And that poor river is already looking pretty bad. It's going to take a lot of time in the future to clear that out and make it, you know, not a poop river. Because that's pretty much what it is a poop river. And that's pretty gross. And you can see here we've gotten out of the zone that's agricultural only. I'm going to switch this, actually. We're going to dezone it, and then rezone it blue. Still no stoplights. So I even went to the trouble of getting a mod that puts in the Japanese-style stoplights, which, if you don't know, Japanese stoplights are not red, yellow, green vertically. They're red, yellow, green horizontally. They're sideways compared to what you're used to in the West. And it's a small detail, but even just that little detail makes it that much more immersive. Especially for somebody that's been living in Japan as long as I have. Wow, just doing a little flyby here, looking at this amazing city we got going on here. I love that big giant over there on the top of the hill. That's so great. Oh, it's so good. And you know, it looks like a nice place. Like, this is a pretty cool little town here. I would live here. Provided, of course, there was a little bit more to do. Right now, there's pretty much just farming jobs and the odd factory job. Unless you work retail, which, I'd probably be sooner to take a farming job than work retail again. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, there we go. So, unfortunately, didn't really make any progress in getting across the river here. I'm still kind of unsure what I want to do with that. Do I want to try to put like a big straight like road and just run it right through the middle of everything and cross over, or what? How do I want to go about getting across the river? So whatever I do, it's going to have a lasting impact on the shape of the city, so I need to be a bit careful about it. But yeah, we're going to go ahead, and that's going to be the end of this episode. So stay tuned for the next one. We're going to try to work out exactly what I need to do with regards to that road and getting over there. So that's it for this one, guys. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode.